Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the biggest name.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, it's a Good Vibe Friday. Mammoth trying to keep their season alive. Big one tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. And look, these tickets are like cigarettes in prison. People want them. They're willing to do anything to get them. So what we're doing here on The Zone is we're giving away tickets. I've got a pair of tickets. Now, all you have to do is go to our website, kslsports.com. There's a enter to win button there where you can go online. Also, we'll have our booth set up at the plaza, so you can go there. There'll be a QR code. You can scan it and take a gander at all the things down there, and your chance to win will be there. But we've got a pair of tickets we'll be giving away today. All right, Travis Yost joins us now, NHL writer for TSN. Travis, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing today?
We're doing better than the Mammoth were in the second overtime, giving up a shorty to lose a game. You don't see that very often, and a tough way for this team to lose and be down 3-2.
Yeah, no kidding. And I can give it to you one way or the other way. Which way do you want to be more frustrated? So I'll give you two options. Option A is Utah has outscored Vegas 16-12 at even strength in this series, yet they're down 3-2, and it's because they have blown not one but two consecutive third-period leads. So that's option A. Option B is, well, how are they down again? Well, here's another stat. Vegas's penalty kill has outscored Utah 2-1 in this series. That is a blinking red lights problem, and you know, you hear both of those and you're like, yeah, like you watch these games, Utah is every bit in this series. And yeah, the daylight between these two teams is basically non-existent. But when you look at the power play ineffectiveness and the two blown leads in Games 4 and Game 5, I worry that, you know, we're only maybe a few days removed, if not one day removed, from Mammoth fans wondering what could have been, because I still think this is a winnable series, but they certainly are the underdog at this point now.
In your opinion, what is, you know, because I'm right there with you. We've been talking. This is a coin flip. It seems like going every night. But in the guts of the game, particularly the last game, the way the Mammoth got the pace the way they wanted it, were able to kind of break out of some of that physicality. But is it just in those moments, you know, is it the pressure? Is it the first time for this group? I mean, do you think that's what the difference has been?
I didn't think that at all until Game 5. And the reason why I say that, this is like a classic, like Vegas, you know, this year and even in years prior, certainly in years prior, they may be one of the best forechecking teams in the league. They play super physical in all the right ways. It's not just they're looking to fight you after the whistle. I mean, they're just going to forecheck you to the nth degree, and they've got plenty of talent and firepower, just like Utah, where they can be a really effective playoff team. We've seen this for many years. That was not working, and it's, in my opinion, still is not working with Utah. Utah has been very game to the physical side of this. They have not been bullied for 1 second in this series, and I think that's a huge testament to the Mammoth. And moreover, by the way, they've not only not been startled by the physicality, they've kind of, Utah's played into their own strength, especially at 5-on-5, which is, yeah, you're going to play physical, but we can get up and down the ice faster. We have more dynamic players at the top of our lineup, and we can take the pace of the game to you, Vegas. And by the way, again, Utah has done that in spades. The reason why I say until Game 5 bit of a concerning development, I thought, for Utah. It was the first time where I thought the penalties that they were taking were not, the helter-skelter, the scrambling to get into defensive, positioning, the, honest accidental mistake, whatever you want to call it. I saw some frustration penalties there. Logan Cooley certainly in that group, and he might have been the best player on both sides through the first 4 games. But you cannot at this point in the series, especially when you're playing a team at least on par with you in terms of talent, and also a team that carried one of the league's best power plays through the entire regular season. You cannot give a team 4, 5, 6 power plays. You're going to pay for it. It's kind of ironic that they ended up losing the game while they were up a man, but all that time that they spend killing penalties, what shouldn't be lost on anyone is even a perfect penalty kill. A perfect penalty kill is just keeping the other team from scoring. It very rarely means you're actually driving scoring in your own right. And so those are all lost minutes and lost opportunities for Utah. So I am confident that maybe at the top of the list of talking points for the coaching staff going into Game 5 is, I need you guys to play physical, but I need you to play, stay within the boundaries of what is or is not going to be called. But because we cannot spend another night in the penalty box, we're going to pay for it if we do.
I think that's a really good point, too, because a lot of Mammoth fans and, media that, frankly, are still trying to pick up on the sport here a little bit, puff their chests out a little bit with the penalty kill that the Mammoth have had, especially with that 4-minute penalty kill and the 2-minute one in overtime. But you don't really think about the opportunity costs, that it's costing you opportunities on the offensive side to get goals. And so when you look at this Mammoth team, the frustration, sometimes are you concerned at this point that the youth might be rearing its ugly head in this thing?
I am on watch. There's a saying about, one's a dot, but 2 and 3, you get to a line and a trend. And I think the big concern tonight is, you hope that playing in front of the home crowd, knowing that you're 2 wins away from advancing still, you hope that it's a one-off. And by the way, I think one benefit here is Logan Cooley is a star bordering, trying to punch his way up to superstar status. He's probably on the short list of guys that you pull him into a room for 45 seconds and it's like, I need the best version of Logan Cooley. I need the player who is the best player on the ice for the first 4 games. And by the way, it's not to even isolate him. He was, he had several teammates in the penalty box on Game 5. But if your best players are playing a little bit, veering a little bit more towards undisciplined play, that can bleed across the entire team. And again, there's no daylight between these two teams. To your point, by the way, the opportunity cost is real, but also that 16 to 12 goal differential that Utah's outscored Vegas, it gets washed away entirely when you bring in special teams. Vegas has outscored Utah 3-0 on the power play. Utah's been outscored on their own power play. They're basically net on net special teams. The Mammoth are down 4 goals to the Golden Knights in this series. So effectively, your goals are break even through 5 games, and that's how you take a team that looks like the better of the two teams at 5-on-5, and you wash that away because they're losing the special teams minutes right now.
Travis, I read your article the other day on, I guess it was 4 days ago, about Edmonton being in big trouble, and I guess they are headed to – where do you go? We were talking about that earlier. NBA goes to Cancun. What's the lake in Canada?
Well, they got Banff, right? Banff is like Tahoe,
Banff.
right?
Let's go to Banff.
Can get
there you
to
go.
Banff. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. But they're on their way, and will not be able to go to the Stanley Cup for the 3rd straight year. Surprised or not really by that?
Surprised. For my money, this was the one. It's the one result I got wrong. I did take Utah in 7 in this series, so there's a chance I get that one wrong too. But I think I'm justified. That series has been razor thin margins. Edmonton was not the better team in that Anaheim series, and it's it's an easy thing to say when Anaheim wins in 6. But the reason I wrote the article on Monday is the numbers were jarring. This wasn't an Edmonton team that was skating Anaheim up and down the rink and just getting terrible goaltending or some maybe poor puck luck. What was blinking red lights concern for me in the first 4 through the first 4 games of the series, and ultimately, Anaheim advances last night. It was the first time that I really can ever remember that the top of the Edmonton lineup was getting outplayed. And I'm talking about the McDavid line, and to a lesser extent the Draisaitl line, but definitely the McDavid line. Now, there is a lot of context there. We know Connor McDavid was playing hurt. We know Leon Draisaitl rushed back from an injury. So when you have a top-heavy team and your two, Goliaths on your roster are both playing at less than 100%, yeah, that you expect a performance step back. But you have to give a lot of credit to the Ducks, too, here. I mean, they're young players, and Jackson LaComb on the first pairing, they completely bottled up that Edmonton supernova attack that we've watched go to the Stanley Cup 2 consecutive years. There is no team under more pressure on this offseason and organizationally speaking than the Edmonton Oilers. I remind anyone listening, Connor McDavid he signed an extension, but it was a short-term extension with Edmonton. It was I'm putting the organization on notice type of extension. He signed for 2 years, which is effectively one, because that second year comes around. If the Oilers do not win a Stanley Cup next year or do not show that they can at least return to a Stanley Cup next year, for the 27-28 season, the Oilers are going to be staring down the barrel of, we cannot lose Connor McDavid to free agency, to Vegas or Colorado, to San Jose for nothing. He must be traded. And by the way, as insane as it sounds to say that the bona fide, undisputed best hockey player on earth could be traded, a year and a half from now, he has been vocally and increasingly frustrated with the organization. I think the front office has done a horrifically poor job building around him, starting with the investments, and I put air quotes around investments in the goaltending position. And my underline here is there is a non-zero chance, 18 months from now, 12, 15, 18 months from now, we're talking about a potential Connor McDavid trade with some real meaning behind that. And if that's the case, if you're a team trading Connor McDavid, there is no good short-term outcome here. And that to me is the biggest scare factor if you're an Oilers fan right now.
So, it's funny when you look at that situation and then you look at the quotes that Connor McDavid had last night in which he said, we are an average team right now. And when you drop lines like average, that is another shout out to the front office. Like, hey, you know what? We need to improve what's going on around here. But you mentioned Denver and you got the Avalanche that are just sitting back and just watching everybody just beat the crap out of each other. It's really their playoffs to lose, right? I mean, it just seems like they're so far ahead of everybody else.
It does. I would say I'm not, and I think we're looking way down the line here. And I've burned myself several times over being a perma bull around the Carolina Hurricanes, but I think Carolina could give them a great bit of trouble. I think that would be an incredible Stanley Cup, by the way, by the by. But in the Western Conference, I think this is Colorado's conference to lose. I will say this. I did take the Wild to beat the Stars in a bit of an upset in the first round. I think the Wild are a materially better team with Quinn Hughes on their top pair. That is not an easy matchup for Colorado. Colorado had as close to a literal layup as you can get playing that absolutely garbage LA team in the first round. Minnesota is not is a much better caliber team, and frankly, if you didn't see them, they slapped Dallas around. That series should have ended in less than 6 games. The Stars' power play kind of kept them in it, but that was a very one-sided series that ended up going 6. I think Colorado's approach to the series is going to be a lot different, too. I thought Colorado honestly put forward like a C-plus effort against the Kings, and they still swept them, which, by the way, is to your point, that's how good this Avalanche team is. But I do think the Wild can offer a serious pushback against them. So very interesting series to watch. And then again, if you're Colorado, would you love to see Utah pull this series out? Because, you deal with a pesky Minnesota team. Your Final Four is Colorado, Minnesota, and then 2 up-and-coming teams in Anaheim and Utah that are about as limited and light on playoff experience as you can possibly find. That would be a phenomenal setup for the Avalanche. By the way, Avalanche round 2 series odds are out. Odds makers are giving them like a 72% implied probability to win, so they're a pretty decisive favorite already.
So whether it's the Golden Knights or whether it's the Mammoth, what have you seen out of the Ducks so far in that 4-2 series victory over the Oilers?
what Anaheim did against Edmonton was very similar to what Utah's done successfully against Vegas, which is their young players have been their best players. And we talk a lot, and I think this is, sport agnostic, right? Especially in the NBA and NHL, though, where young players, I never really bought that players can be clutch and play above their, maximum, but I always bought that players can play below their capabilities, and younger players are certainly vulnerable to that. That's where I give Utah a lot of credit. One of the reasons why I was excited about the Mammoth season, why I think they can win still this series, even though they're down 3-2, is their young players and their best players have been the best players in the series, and they don't seem shy at all based on the opponent and Vegas's given track record. The same exact thing is true for the Anaheim Ducks. Troy Terry, Cutter Gauthier, Jackson LaComb, defenseman I mentioned earlier. These are all young players that Anaheim has been stocking for years, very similar to the Coyotes and Mammoth. And in the series against the Oilers, they were the reason, not just their scoring touch, but their ability to contain something that almost every team in the league has struggled to do, their ability to contain the line of Connor McDavid and the line of Leon Draisaitl. So whether it is, to your point, Anaheim or Utah, I have to acknowledge I may have underrated Anaheim a little bit because their young players look fantastic. They play with a lot of pace, and they've got good goaltending. I'm one, goaltending doesn't really ever shine in a series against Edmonton. They can score like nobody's business, but Anaheim does have a pretty high-quality goaltender set up backstopping this young core, so they're going to be a pesky opponent independent of whether it's Vegas or Utah here.
Well, we're absolutely crazy about our Mammoth after 2 years, and I'm just curious, what's the word out there in the hockey, around hockey, about what's going on here in Utah? The early success, certainly the investment in a really, really great environment for hockey players. Are people taking notice of that?
I certainly think that's true, and I think there's two different elements of why people are buying in. Let me go to the organizational component first before I get to the lineup. If you put that game on, now I was at game 3, and I've been fortunate enough to go to many hockey arenas in my life, playoff games, Stanley Cup games. I mean, Delta Center was deafening. And don't get me wrong, they got the juice of I think the metaphor was cigarettes in prison. It's a perfect metaphor, right? It's like you've never been to a playoff hockey game ever in this city. So, the crowd's going to be electric. I get there's tailwinds there, but it feels like a Canadian atmosphere parked in a winter American city. By the way, very similar to Vegas. I would say the exact same thing about the Golden Knights organization. They've put together now I think you can make an argument this is the best team, including the Coyotes, in the last 30 years. We talked about this last week. So there's a lot of wow, this team is a bona fide up-and-comer. They have punched Vegas back every which way, and Vegas is highly respected around the league. And, I watched Game 4 on TV, and the noise is deafening coming through my speakers. And I'm like, this just creates such an impression at a national level where there's tremendous fan and organizational buy-in. The other thing, too, give some love to the hockey nerds that you may know in your life, because the nerds love this Mammoth team. I think the stat folks who walk around this industry, I've been doing this almost 2 decades now. The Mammoth persistently for most of the year looked like a better team than their results actually showed, which is common in the NHL, that the standings can lie to you in both directions. The Mammoth always felt a little bit better than their record actually showed. One of the reasons, by the way, is, they're 4th in the division. Well, look at the teams they're looking at. The 3 of the top 6 teams in the league are also in the division. So you've kind of got this noise there that I think dilutes how good, the appreciation for how good this team is. But I think them, going toe-to-toe with this Vegas team already has kind of enshrined this as a real hockey team, real hockey organization long-term. But again, full circle, boy, would it be frustrating to lose this series given how this team has played in the first 5 games. And I worry that there is very much on the board here is it's going to be, wow, great season, unbelievable first crack at the barrel and in the playoffs, but we could have beat that team. I worry that we're going to be having that conversation shortly.
The analytic geeks always find a way to get themselves into everything, don't they? Hey, we appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out. Glad you had a good time here in game number 3, and we need to get you back out here pretty soon.
Amen. Take care, guys.
There he is. Really fun conversation. Travis Yost, NHL writer for TSN, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I like the way he talked about our barn.
Yes.
In relation to others, getting maybe barn's going to become like QB room for me, but right now I'll use it.
The QB room just does not sit well with you. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Do you love rom-coms? Do you wish you could talk about Christmas movies year-round? Then we have the perfect podcast for you, Hallmarkies Podcast. Throughout the year, we cover all things romance, holiday, and Hallmark, including recaps of every Hallmark show, like When Calls the Heart and The Way Home. You can also get loads of bonus content covering shows like Bridgerton, Sweet Magnolias, and Just Like That. We are an all-female group of friends who are passionate for these shows and movies and give our honest opinions as well as gush over what we love so much. But that's not all. Every Monday, there are interviews with all your favorite actors, writers, directors, and more. Check out Hallmarkies Podcast on all your podcast providers and on YouTube. That's Hallmarkies Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Stacy.
And we make Trashy Divorces, everybody's favorite good podcast about bad relationships.
Looking for something true crimey without the gore or the body count?
We've been churning out funny, feisty, feminist episodes since 2019. So if you're looking to put some scandalous stories told well into your ears this summer, check out Trashy Divorces, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Trust us, we've covered someone you love.
Or someone you love to hate.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
It is the good, the bad, and the ugly. But today, as it's a Good Vibe Friday, in hopes of securing some good karma for the Utah Mammoth in their Game 6 tonight, potential elimination game. If the Mammoth lose, they're done. So, to force a Game 7, they've got to come up with a good win, and they could use all the good karma. So we're putting out nothing but good vibes today on a Friday here with Scott Garrard and the coach Tim LaComb. So with that, no good, bad, ugly. No, it is good, better, best, because no negativity out there today.
And one of the first good things is I forgot I had this shirt, but it's the clinic shirt from
If you're
camp.
on the YouTube channel, you can see Coach wearing a shirt that says Coach.
I just thought on remote, because people don't really see us. It's just a visual that they know,
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
How about now?
There we go.
All right.
Anyhow, but also my mom and, one of the things my mom said to me every time I left the house, don't forget who you are. So this helps me remember.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people that just know they're not particularly good human beings, and so they are that person.
So we need to get you one that has a Scotty across there. And then we'll sit here together and
yeah, just in case you're wondering who we are, which one's which. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they don't know.
Oh no. It was always funny because people would come up and back on the old show, and they're like, "Okay, so which one of you played in the NFL?" It's like, really, you really need to take some time and ask us about that, or you just kind of take a quick look and you can tell which one of us.
That one's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
when you got the Incredible Hulk standing next to your average guy.
Yeah.
And then when you shake his hand and he about breaks it.
Yeah, and he wraps it around twice.
He doesn't do that to me, though. He doesn't even go to handshake. He just gives me the smother.
The hug, yeah. Yep. I was talking to our guy last night.
He gives me the Hulk Hogan choke out.
Yeah, and he knows when to let go when you can't breathe anymore. Like, he's got a good chance.
But speaking of good vibes, that's a good dude on a good day, good vibes, and we're sticking with those.
So let's start with the good, and we mentioned him earlier in the show, but you couldn't be happier for Rudy Gobert. As Lloyd mentioned, a near triple-double, 10 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. He also, 7 of those 13 rebounds actually came on the offensive glass. So the fact that he was able to have the night to go along with 2 block shots, but, I mean, my goodness, flirting around with a triple-double, just 2 assists away from Rudy Gobert, of all people, having a triple-double.
And I like the way, words work. So Rudy, you get Rudy Gobert, you get Rudy, the great vibe of that show. I like you're onto something,
Yeah,
Rudy.
yeah.
But I'm honestly so happy for him because I actually thought after watching game one, oh no, it's going to happen again. You know, they're going to take advantage of him. But he definitely answered the call, and he outplayed Jokic. There's no question about it, and his team won.
So I also I respect guys. It's really easy for athletes to run their mouth and to talk smack. But I respect the guys that, one, are willing to do it, and then two, back it up. And Jaden McDaniels has been chirping this entire series. Remember, after game one was just immediately or was it game two, said, yeah, you know what? They can't defend us. They're all bad defenders. I mean, they're going right at them saying, yeah, there's not a good defender on the team. Jokic can't defend. Go down the list. They're not good defenders. All we're going to do is just dribble and go right at them. We're going to drive on each and every one of them. And, I follow a bunch of people in the Denver media, and they're all like, bulletin board material, let's go. They woken up the Giant now. They're in trouble. And guess what? They just kept doing it, and Denver couldn't do a dang thing to stop it. Jaden McDaniels was 100% right. They can't defend. Minnesota knew it, and they didn't even care if they said it publicly.
And Chris Finch was asked about that last night, and he said, well, it's what he believed. And then they went out, to your point, and made it happen. It's always frustrating when somebody pops off and they don't have what it takes to back it up. But we even talked about it on that very day. He popped off, and we talked about it, and I said, he's actually right. I mean, at that point they had Ant, and that point they had Dante, but they were just carving the Nuggets up. And I watched the Jazz, in the last couple of weeks of the season as Denver's trying to prep for a playoff run. And the Jazz just they picked them apart.
Yeah.
Their defense was so bad. So it was not necessarily a surprise to me that Denver fizzled, and that fizzle was responsible, because of the defense. Again, a historic offense this year in net rating in terms of offensive rating. But defense, and that wins championships. You got to have a little of it anyway.
Minnesota had 3 double-figure scorers that were not available for them last night with injuries, and it didn't matter a lick. Didn't matter. It just really a tremendous performance by Minnesota. All right, so good, and now let's get to the better. Let's talk a little Major League Baseball. Your Giants had a day yesterday, Lloyd. You watched that doubleheader? The Philadelphia Phillies and the Giants playing in a doubleheader, and Philly got walk-off wins in both games. So in game one, in a 3-2 win, Brian Stott lined a tying triple with 1 out in the ninth, and then scored the winning run on a 2-out infield single by rookie Justin Crawford. So that's awesome. So let's play it back in game two. That was also a 6-5 win. Kyle Schwarber hit a tying double with 2 outs in the ninth, and then Alec Boehm walked it up with a sacrifice fly in the 10th inning. So both come from behind victories. In both games, the Giants had a lead in the 9th inning and gave it up and lost in walk-off fashion in back-to-back games of a doubleheader. First time this has happened. Surprisingly, I think you'd have to go back a little bit further, but it did happen back on May 28, 2004. But you are still 22 years. I'm still to think that 2004 actually wasn't that long ago. That still is 22.
I hear 1995, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, it was just around the corner.
Yeah.
And then you look at my 30-year-old daughter and say, no, it wasn't. And the Phillies have been reeling, too.
Yeah, they're not
good. They got off to a bad start and have not been playing well. So, yeah, that is, is Lloyd's team the Giants?
It is the Giants.
Okay. I don't know if that works, though, because that's kind of a dig in the vibe.
Oh, yeah, but when you're going after the guy that usually doesn't bring good vibes.
Okay. Well,
I think that works.
Good vibes. What are you talking about? So that's what we're going to do? Okay.
Oh, no. This is
good
fizzling.
vibes are over.
The good vibes have ended.
He's going to go.
That didn't last very long.
You're going to back to Black Sabbath and the bumps.
Well, no more no worries, be happy. That finally came to an end. We're going to have Beck's Loser coming out of the next break. All right, there you go.
Directed at us.
Yeah, good, better, best right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We continue on. What's going to be a fun show. Craig Bullerjack's going to join us coming up a little bit later on in the program at 105. So Oh, Bowler will be at 12:05.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So we'll chat with Bowler coming up in about 20 minutes right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, I'm Josh Spiegel, host of the podcast Lunatic in the Newsroom. If you enjoy journalism that drifts into mild panic, wild overthinking, and a guaranteed nervous breakdown, Lunatic in the Newsroom is for you. It's news like you've never heard before. The only newsroom with a panic button. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and gasp in horror as the show spirals completely out of control. It's not just news, it's emotionally unstable. Lunatic in the Newsroom. Listen today.
I drive my bus in a busy city. That's why road safety is so important to me. I know that I must slow down and be extra careful when I make a wide turn. Buses need more room than cars. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're driving, remember to give buses plenty of time and space to finish turning before driving ahead. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Accessing
the best radio in Utah is right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. How can you not like this song? Katrina and the Wave, Walking on Sunshine?
Everything makes
Apparently, Alex Napolis is not a fan of this.
This is just, like you talk about good vibes, you talk about happy.
Which is so weird, by the way, because Alex is such a good vibe guy. Like, he really is, too. Like, he is the anti-Lloyd Cole.
Yeah, have you seen the movie High Fidelity? You would love that movie.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's about a guy in a record store, owning a record store.
Oh, I got to see that.
But
Jake's told me about that.
But Jack Black is in it, and I like Jack Black in like small doses.
Right.
I don't want like large doses of Jack Black, but he's in this one, and it's one of his first roles. Was a nobody at the time, and he's got a scene where he's dancing to this song that is one of the funniest scenes of any movie I've seen.
And they use that in a lot of shows too. I think I think that's in some. It's definitely in some animated stuff.
Jake Scott has told you about two things: High Fidelity and The Simpsons.
No, he doesn't talk about The Simpsons.
Oh,
as much.
Nobody talks about The Simpsons more than Jake Scott.
And Family Guy. He loves
Family Guy.
It's Family Guy.
Yeah,
Family Guy. I get that one, and he actually got me on Arrested Development. I did watch that, and thank you, Jake, because that definitely was one of the better ones I've seen.
High Fidelity is probably in my top 5 movies of all time.
Okay, I'm going to go there for you. You're taking on some music. I'm sending you music. You guys send me some good, and then we'll reconnect.
As a music aficionado, you would love High Fidelity.
Cool,
great show.
Right, I'm in.
Great show. All right, coming up a little bit later on in the program, we will talk to, actually, coming up in about 10 minutes, Craig Bowlerjack will join us. Fridays with Bowler. It's a tradition like none other to be able to chat with Bowler. I mean, let's be honest here. He's one of the best dudes on the planet, and according to Alema Harrington, just had himself shoulder replacement, and that's not keeping our guy down. He's all about it.
I do a pretty good bowler.
Oh, yeah?
Scotty, Timmy, Scotty. Good to be with you. Just out here, you know how he does. I can't do the whole thing, but I can.
The lawn.
His little Scotty, Tim, bowler here, and hey, it's going to be an interesting summer for these Jazz.
That's perfect.
Just that little quick bowler, or no, Scotty, Tim. When he tells you to go to hell, that's a different level there, though.
Yeah, because he means it.
Yeah.
You don't, I say go to hell, and you're like, everybody laughs. But Bowler tells you to go to hell, man.
That was a tough pill to swallow.
You're on the wrong side of the law.
That was a rough day. I don't know if Lloyd's got the cut or not, but that one, it took me a while to come back from that one. Alemma Harrington's kind enough to join us. We are live here at Next Gen Motors.
Scotty?
Yeah.
Go to hell.
There it is. There it is.
Ooh, I felt the barb.
Wow.
Did you come back? You've come back from it.
We've mended,
years of therapy.
We've mended some fences. It took some moment, but we're in a good place now. I don't even remember what provoked that. But, Bowler is one of the nicest dudes. But once you get on his bad side,
you don't want to be there.
I bet that was a
and if
Denver,
you don't want to
Kansas
stay
City.
there.
Denver,
Could be.
Kansas City.
Could have been.
yeah. He loves his Chiefs.
Yep.
He's been a big fan since Patrick Mahomes got drafted.
That's not fair. You might be listening right now. Don't do this to Bowler right now. What are you doing? Boy, those good vibes just
Come
went.
on,
Man.
Scotty, Tim, Alemma.
Go to hell. 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.
This is Alemma the Pirate. Shiver me timbers.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Stacy.
And we make Trashy Divorces, everybody's favorite good podcast about bad relationships.
Looking for something true crimey without the gore or the body count?
We've been churning out funny, feisty, feminist episodes since 2019. So if you're looking to put some scandalous stories told well into your ears this summer, check out Trashy Divorces wherever you listen to podcasts.
Trust us, we've covered someone you love.
Or someone you love to hate.